Guten Abend. Here we are.
Good afternoon.
Chad, thank you so much for doing it. You did it. How do you feel now that it's out, now that you could do your huge, big announcement?
Well, I tell you, man, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better. It's been, we've been working on this a long time. I know everybody, I made the mistake of mentioning that I had some big news soon, and I thought it was going to be soon. I really did. I thought that we were going to be able to announce it like maybe a month after, maybe a couple of weeks after I first said it.
I think it was here on the stream 8-9 months ago, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to go back and see. I guess it doesn't really matter, but well, yeah. I mean, it was during this year, and it's not at the end of the year, so that makes sense. About 8 or 9 months ago, and we've been working, on it ever since, and on the records and clearing different titles. And thanks, Dave. And I want to thank the people that knew about it. You knew a little bit about it. A few people, maybe Dave knew, and y'all kept y'all's mouth shut because it's terrible to ruin a surprise. Somebody tried to ruin a surprise the other day on a live stream, and he but anyway, it's like a surprise birthday party, right?
Yeah, it's totally.
When you're surprised, it's unbelievable. But like, if on the way to your surprise birthday party, you start realizing, it just takes a little. I mean, it's still great, for anybody to throw a party.
But I think, Chad, the surprise really worked. I saw the reaction, for example, on the Discord of the OBC, or in yesterday's live stream we had. I think the biggest surprise was the sheer amount of announcement. I think realistically, you couldn't think that there will be 75 titles. This is unbelievable, and I think this has never ever happened before. Such an announcement. You're way longer into the business than most of us, but 75 titles, I can't remember. And of course, the second biggest surprise of the whole package is the variety. I think so many people have been stunned by those rock, pop titles and how far you go. You're going now into the 90s sometimes. This is amazing, and that's for the most people the biggest surprise, I think.
Well, yeah, I don't know if there's been a bigger announcement in our world, the audiophile reissue world. I really don't know. If there is, tell me, because I can't remember one.
Me neither. No.
But as far as analog productions, in 2002, when we did the Fantasy 2545 RPM albums, we were only going to do 1,000. We only did 1,000. The first 250 people signed up for it, but we ended up doing 100, like 4 sets of 25. The first set, the second, the third set, the fourth set. But we never knew we were going to do 100. Like if we would have said, "Hey, we're doing 100 titles," that might have been a big announcement. But we never said that because we didn't know. We did 25, and it was so successful, and people loved it. We needed to do another 25, then another 25. So it ended up being 100. So yeah, I don't think I've ever had a bigger announcement. Maybe the Steely Dan. the Steely Dan, telling everybody about all the titles. And well, those were the two big announcements I said I had for this year.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, okay. But, of course, you're right in a way with the Steely Dan. But now, and that's what I think excites people so much, is now we are talking Yes, we are talking Bad Company, we are talking Genesis, we are talking Phil Collins, we are talking Otis Redding, John Coltrane, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Alice Cooper, and on and on and on and on. So I think in this package is something for everyone. Something for everyone. I think you cannot complain. Oh, there is no prog. Oh, there is no soul. So that's what's so tempting with this series. I can imagine for a lot of people that it's difficult to not find a title you are interested in. And that's of course a little difference to an announcement as huge as it is, of course, like the Steely Dan. You have to like Steely Dan or not. But here is it's a whole bouquet of flowers in a way. How long did it take you to? I mean, we're talking over 30,000 possible titles roughly when it comes to Atlantic label. How was the process, and how long did it take to find those titles that you now have in the series?
Well, first of all, we tried to do a little bit for everyone. We've been, lately jazz has just been selling so well. The Prestige, the Bill Evans box set, the Kind of Blue. It's the contemporary Acoustic Sounds contemporary series, the Acoustic Sounds Verve series. We sell. They're doing so well, and we'll get a lot of people. Man, do some classic rock or do some pop, or and so we're actually selling more of a jazz title than a real famous pop title. It's just unbelievable. And we love it because we love great sound and great music, and jazz is acoustically recorded, so it sounds so good. So
yeah, but let me say something. Now the first three titles are announced, and here in Europe, on my end, the Phil Collins Face Value is doing unbelievably good. Really, really good. So this is pop rock, and we also have a jazz. Yeah. So in Europe, I think you really hit the nail with those Genesis, Yes, Bad Company, Phil Collins. In Europe, I don't know how it is in the States. Maybe it's different a little bit.
Well, I can tell you, listen, man, we've been getting asked for Genesis for years. I mean, like, I really, it's not one of my favorite bands or a band that I listen to a lot. You know what I mean? I of course, there's no way you could be a music lover and not hear Phil Collins, but or Peter Gabriel, but I didn't really know much about Genesis. Genesis was just one of them bands that I missed. I mean, I didn't miss many, but Genesis was just one of them. And so, but man, the amount of people, they come to the hi-fi shows, man, who's going to do Genesis when, and the amount of the people are just loving the Genesis, and it's funny because some people I like that last comment. Some people say Acoustic Sounds. One of our employees came out, Acoustic Sounds saving the world from bad sound, and Daniel says making the world sound better. Pretty much this close to the same thing, and yeah, we feel that's our goal. And but people, but it's fun to hear people, oh man, I like the old Genesis, or I like the Genesis with Phil Collins, or I like the in between, and you got some people that like it all, some people that want one, but everybody is He's excited. Now, I'll tell you this, and I still didn't answer your question, but I will. The big surprise is the Stone Temple Pilots. People are going nuts over it, man. I mean, it's like they are so happy. One of them sounds better than the other. One of them sounds typical 90s. The other, they were both, we have analog masters on them, which we were very happy to get. People are very excited about these records, Stone Temple Pilots, which makes me want to try to think of more new stuff. People are really after me about 90s, 2000s. I'm trying my best to come up with titles, but man,
you already mentioned one thing. You already mentioned all those series that are going on. The UHQR, where you really put up the amount of titles you're putting out. Elephants, for example, and they're coming closer to each other, which I totally love. Now this series. What about the
next UHQR?
Here we go. Nice. Stoughton, huh?
Oh, this must be a mock-up right here. That was weird. This is a lamination test. I grabbed the test. I'm looking the inside. I'm like, oh shit. Boy, did we screw up?
That's brilliant.
I'm like lamination test. Okay.
Chad, one question. I already have 5 questions marked, so we will also, of course, include the gallery and answer their questions too.
You want me to answer the first question you asked me that I didn't answer?
Yeah, of course. I just wanted to calm down the people in the gallery that their questions will also come up. Yeah, go. Excuse me.
You asked me how hard was it to come up with these titles, or how did I do it? And I mean, of course, when you think of Atlantic, you think of Crosby, Stills and Nash. You think of Yes. You think of these groups, and so okay, those are easy. Like Crosby, Stills and Nash, Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young Deja Vu. And then even the last title, like The Daylight Again, there's 2 huge hits on it. You know what I mean? People love that Southern Cross. I mean, they love that song. I mean, it's such a good song. So, now, like, we wanted to do 4-Way Street, but 4-Way Street is a double album, which means it has to be four records, 8 sides. It's a lot of work, so we didn't do that. So that's kind of some of the things. Okay, take the 4-Way Street out. Which Yes do we do? Of course, the biggies. Close to the Edge, Fragile, 90125. And then you go, okay, well, look, we want to do some new stuff for the younger people, because now the younger people are coming of age, and they're doctors and lawyers, and they're getting into high end, and they're also, the young people are really learning about quality these days. So we want to cater to them too, because a lot of that music isn't really my favorite, because I'm really deep down, I really like stuff that sounds good. And a lot of it was recorded during an era where they just compressed the hell out of it, you know what I mean? And just took the life out of a lot of that music. Now, there are some exceptions, that were, records that were done really well. But most of them were compressed. And so, Ray Charles, Atlantic Records, Ray Charles, Atlantic Records, Otis Redding, you know, so some things were easy, but what becomes hard is at the end. You know, in fact, there's some titles we're still, there's 2 new titles that weren't on the list that are really new that people are going to like, you know, and that sound good.
Yeah.
And it's good, pleasant music. It's really, the artist is very famous and very popular, but I can't, I'll be able to mention those soon, but we've been asked not to mention. Now, there's other things like we wanted to do some Bruno Mars. I mean, he's such a fantastic, I mean, he's the closest thing to Michael Jackson there is.
Yeah.
He's a great performer. His songs are great. It's new music that I like. My daughter likes it. We went to see him on New Year's Eve in Vegas. Yeah. Unbelievable. But, you know, he has a mastering engineer that likes to master his stuff to sound good on the radio and Spotify. And that's the master. We could only use those masters the way he likes it, or the way it sounds good on Spotify. And we really wanted to do it, but I played it and I'm like, man, I love this album. And but I've got a standard, you know what I mean? My customers, the reason Analog Productions is at the top, and we have a reputation, and I've got a reputation. I've got you know, values. You know, I've got to do what I stand for. You know, we can let other people do. In fact, Atlantic is doing their own series of 33s on clear vinyl with all of these titles. So they're taking care of the people that of those records. You know, like there's a lot of people that comment, why don't you do them at 33? Well, Atlantic is doing them at 33. You can follow their series. In fact, Acoustic Sound sells all the Atlantic 33s on the, you know, their 75 anniversary. So they're going to do a lot of titles that I wouldn't do, you know. But anyway, you know, it just takes, of course, oh yeah, Coltrane's another Atlantic artist, right? Mingus is another Atlantic artist. So a lot of that stuff came easy. It was those last titles, like filling out that total 75, like, you know, adding some new music that I'm not that familiar with, you know. Do we really do 5 Otis Reddings? Maybe 4, you know. Do we really do 5 Ray Charles? You know, Aretha Franklin is another artist that, you know, when you think of Atlantic, you think of Ray Charles and you think of Aretha Franklin. Well, the reason you don't see any Aretha on there is their management they're not interested in participating at this point on our 45 RPM series. Now, things change in this business, you know, and they've changed fast.
And I know that you will get, and I know you will be on the phone every 20 minutes.
Right. We'll you know, if we get some of the big artists, the elephants in the room, you know, the big artists that we want to get, we'll announce it and we'll just add it to the series. And whoever subscribed will get their number. They're, you know, if you subscribed and you're number 10,
yeah,
and we add to the, or if you subscribe and you're number 22, you know, like somebody I know is number 22. And, you know, what we do is all the people that subscribe to the series, they usually loved every series and they subscribe. And if we can give them the same number they had, you know, so at the end of the 75, if we do clear some of these other titles, the people that subscribe, by the way, there's a question you didn't ask.
I'm waiting. I have so many questions right now. I'm just waiting. Which question didn't I ask?
How how many subscribers did we get in 24
You
hours?
already said it, over 250. I think you said it at the beginning of the stream. That's why I didn't ask.
Did I say that, or was that?
I'm quite sure you did, over 250 so far.
But I think I talked to you earlier this morning.
No, yeah, we talked, but you said it at the beginning. I'm quite sure we can
Really? That's fine. I didn't know. So yeah, we've got over 250 in a 24-hour, and
Yeah.
So we have to figure that's we feel happy about that.
I can imagine. Let's get into some questions. There have been some really interesting. I like this question. So is it possible there will be more than 75 titles?
Yes, if Urethra as a state wants to participate in this series, and if these other labels, these other artists want to participate in this series, they will be at it.
Cool.
I mean,
okay, go.
What was the next question?
Is the Atco catalog included in this? Probably,
yes,
right?
Yes, because Dr. John was on Atco. A lot of the titles are at Atco, which was, Atlantic owns that. So now there's Atco titles like Cream and Allman Brothers and stuff like that. There's a lot of people ask us about the Allman Brothers. They were on Atlantic, but Atlantic didn't own them. They ask us about AC/DC. There's the question right there. Atlantic didn't own AC/DC stuff. They licensed AC/DC stuff. So the Cream, Atlantic didn't own the Cream. They licensed it. They didn't own ABBA. They licensed it. They didn't own AC/DC. They licensed it. They didn't own Allman Brothers. They licensed it. So there's a lot of Atlantic. That's why what I have to do is a little bit probably harder than most people think, and so
that's for sure. One nice question from Nicholas: are the Otis titles all stereo, Chad?
I'm pretty sure they are. I've got so many things on my mind, and I'm working on so many different albums that I think the Otis are all stereo, and but the Ray Charles. Yes, all of those records, the Ray Charles, the Otis Redding, and the Wilson Pickett, will be cut from original master tapes. I mean, I'll say it real clearly. We only use original master analog tapes, okay? The name of my label's Analog Productions. I feel very strongly that you can't get better than the absolute analog master. Now, there will be some exceptions. One of the new bands that I was mentioning that I can't mention yet, but they've agreed to be part of this series, but I can't mention them. They were recorded in high-res digital. You know what I mean? That's how they were recorded. That's the master.
Yeah,
that is the master. People keep asking me these questions, and so
what can you do, right?
There's a few tapes. The master, we don't know where it is. We looked everywhere we could, and so we're using an EQ copy, like Bad Company's first album. We couldn't find the absolute original analog. You have the one-off EQ tape copy. There's a couple titles like that. It's in the minority, and we also listen. We make sure we still want our records to blow the originals away. So when we get a tape copy and we exhaust all means to finding the master, and we finally get satisfied that we're not going to find the master, the best copy that we're going to be able to find is this one-off copy. Then we master it and we play it and we compare it, and then I make a decision. If it doesn't sound good, I don't use it. If it sounds good, I use it. So, at some point, you're just going to have to trust the people you deal with. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people don't trust anymore because they do get lied. We all get lied to or fooled.
Yeah.
I know most of my great customers know who we are and how hard we try. And another thing is on the back, we're gonna have this right here.
Ah, okay.
You see right here?
Yeah.
I'll read it. 100% all analog.
So there it is.
100%. Okay, not 99. Mastered and cut to lacquer from the original analog master tape.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is important, I think, and this is what many people rightfully wanted. Oh, show the jacket, please. Show the jacket I just saw. Can you? Yeah, this is the Blues and Roots.
Okay, listen.
It's still there. Okay. Nice. Nice. Here we go. Is it in November, Chad?
Yeah, I think this is one of the first ones.
Cool. Beautiful. This is a highly
this was cut by Kevin Gray.
Yeah.
This was cut by Chris Bellman. This was cut by Chris Bellman.
Nice. Can you open it up? Is it? Nice. Yeah. Beautiful.
And this one was cut by Ryan Smith. Now this is the original album.
I just want to say, this doesn't look so stealthy.
Yeah, no, I know. I couldn't find.
No problem. No problem.
But I mean, you can tell. Like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, I saw it.
I wish I had it. But it's a great. I love this album, and this was mastered by Ryan K. Smith. So you know, Bellman's cutting those is great news. Yeah, we the best.
There was a question from George Borden. I don't find it now. Or is it here?
Yeah, he asked about the yes.
Yeah, and the long title.
Close to the edge. There's a song that has like 4 movements. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's 4 movements, I think. And there's a perfect spot that it goes silent for not long, but just long enough to where, you know, it's perfect, like 10 minutes on side 3 and 10 minutes on side 4. And again, there's 4 movements on there.
Yeah.
The same thing on Supper Time on Genesis Foxtrot. There's a certain amount of movements on there, and there's a spot between the movements that we were able to separate.
Okay.
Now, if you know the purist, if that's something they can't deal with, then they can buy the 33 from someone else, you know, or go find the Classic Records Foxtrot 33. It'll really be good, the Classic Records version. I can't speak for the original or the British, but if it, you know, some people, yes, I'm using the Classic Records parts on the Genesis. They didn't have Trick of the Tail, so we'll have to make new parts, but I'm still using Chris Bellman. And you see, that's why, you know, people, why do you use Chris? Why do you use Bernie? Why do you use Kevin? Well, let's say, for instance, Chris Bellman did all the Genesis for Mike Hobson. So let's say one of the parts was bad. When we go to use it, we have to have it cut again. I'm not going to go to Ryan Smith. I'll go to Chris Bellman. He did them all. He remembers it all. And so trick of the tail, I'm going to let Chris do it, and like I might use Kevin Gray,
yeah, that would have been one of my questions. Why choose 3 different master engineers? Is this the reason?
Yeah, because I don't know. Sometimes we know the tape is in Nashville, or the tape is in LA, or Chris Bellman has mastered all of the Genesis, and Chris Bellman's been doing a lot of the Crosby, Stills, and Nash lately.
Mm-hmm.
So why reinvent the wheel? I mean, he's just got that much more experience on the tape, and he's got his notes. So, yeah, I love John Prime. And so, yeah, like here, Chris Bellman did the Close to the Edge. We Kevin Gray, there's a title that I can't announce that Kevin Gray cut a 33 of that we're going to do. Well, shoot, he's already done the 33. It sounds good. Why not have him do the 45?
John Bendy, calm down a bit. Come on. We all got your point now. Just calm down a little bit.
Repeat artists, even with it. Hey, I did 75 titles. Maybe there's only one you want. Maybe you don't want any. Maybe you can find another record label that will do your favorite albums. Or maybe you can start your own reissue label. I'm trying my best. To please everyone. That's almost an impossible job. But I'm not the only reissue label in the world. You know what I mean? I feel like we're the best, but in quality and and if you don't feel that way, then there's other choices. There's other labels out there. We're not the only label, and I can help save the world from bad sound, but I can't help save the world from doing. There's too many records out there, and
you can't do them all, right? Of course not.
No. And even if they say some of these titles have been done to death, have they been done at 45? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And nobody's pointing a gun at their head, telling them they have to buy it. If you see something you want, buy it. If we did something that you feel has been done to death, we get that.
Don't buy it. Exactly. One question I was asked to ask you, because in the OBC we have quite some that are very, very interested in those. Is there a chance that some of those titles from the Atlantic catalog you put out now also get an ultra tape treatment?
Well, we wish. We wish.
So not impossible.
Nothing's impossible, and for those that know me, they know I fight hard for things that I think should be done. I have stories, but I going to keep them to myself on how some instances where some labels love it. It's just another format, really. It's just another format. You have cassette tape, you have CD, you have Spotify, you have downloads, you have streaming, you have 33 RPM, you have 45, you have 45 12-inch, you have 45 7-inch, and they also used to have pre-recorded reel-to-reel. So I don't really understand why some of the labels are against the reel-to-reel. Now, the White Stripes love the idea.
Okay, cool.
Love the idea. The Coltrane's love the idea. You know, so there's enough. You know, we would love to do this. We would love to do this.
Cool, nice answer. So we have covered quite some right now. Yeah, how far are you with producing? How far in the future? How many titles are already mastered? Can you talk about this, or is this under disclosure?
Well, I've just showed you 4 titles that we have jackets on. So I'll show you. These will all be what's coming, like the first 10. So I showed you 4, right?
Wait a second. Oh, wow. Cool. Here we go.
And we had Bernie Grunman do this one.
Nice. So the titles you are showing now are among the 10 first.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
This is one of my favorite childhood records, man.
Yeah. Yesterday on the live stream, we all agreed that a trifold.
Yeah.
Wow. Those are probably one of your personal favorites, right? The Dr. John.
Yeah. So
trifold.
The band is the Meters. The Meters is the band, and Alan Toussaint plays on it. In fact, you know, he arranged and conducted this, and he also produced this record. So I mean, when you got Alan Toussaint producing and arranging, and you got the Meters as your band, and you got Dr. John, I mean, it just don't get any better, man. I mean, I love this album.
Yeah. Ray Charles is among the first 10. Wow, cool.
I mean, dude, if that ain't pretty.
It is for sure. Session 4 is nice.
So our aim is to make these the best sounding versions of your favorite records, the best covers.
Foreigner.
The original had, you see the shadow?
Yes.
The first original had the shadow, and then every other Foreigner after every other time they released this, they took the shadow away for some reason.
Oh, that's interesting. Didn't know that. Cool details. Wow. Bad Company. Here we go. Cool. Oh. Beautiful. Another
little thing about Phil Collins is we don't have the rights to put the Phil Collins on SACD, and we only have the rights of the Phil Collins for a very short time. So if anybody wants a Phil Collins, and I mean, this ain't no FOMO and all that. I don't really care. If you want it, I'm just telling you now. Whenever I try to tell everybody this, I'm just trying to let them know about some information. I'm telling you, none of these are going to be available forever. You know.
Yeah, I'm so thankful that you talk officially here now on the live stream about it, because that was an information you gave me, which I didn't know if I can talk about it. But the Phil Collins, buy now, and I don't say that very often.
If you want it, basically, you know, when I say buy now or cry later, that is just telling you that these records are not going to be available forever.
No.
That's all that saying means. They're not going to be available forever. No record is. But some of them I know they're not going to be available long. And when I know that, I'm going to let y'all know so y'all can make a decision, an informed decision.
Yeah.
And so the Phil Collins, I think they might have plans to do maybe some releases on their own, and sometimes they don't want things to interfere with their own plans. I don't know their reasoning, but I can just tell you I'm going to be able to press it once, and that's it.
Yeah. So one question to make it perfectly clear: does this go with a very limited time period for the face value, or both Phil Collins?
Both Phil Collins.
Both Phil Collins. Okay. 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 Cool. Good to know. Thanks for the information about those.
Now this is a sample right here. It's a Grateful Dead sample called an Impact with 24 point. Okay. These covers like are maybe $20 cost, $10 to $20 cost, you know.
Yeah.
And this will be for The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. This is what it's going to look like.
The same, also like the wonderful sounds, you know, with
four. I mean, this is 4 panels. The wonderful sound is 3 panels.
Yeah.
Well, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it'd be 8 with the 8 panels. Yeah, 8 panels, and look how thick.
And that's also the size of the Lamb Lies Down the Broadway, then, right?
Yeah, wow. This is what the Lamb Lies Down on Broadway is going to come out like this. That's why it's so expensive, and it's 4 record set. So, no, man, we're so excited about the series. It's a pleasure working with Atlantic Records. They, Craig Kalman is the CEO and is a big collector, one of our great customers and friends. He's another music lover that.
Yeah, but I think again, because there's some excitement now about the Phil Collins, but who pre-orders now, doesn't matter where, he gets a copy of the Phil Collins. So that's not what Chad said. You can just do it for a certain amount of time, not an amount of not limited to a specific number, just time. So that's a big difference.
It's both. I mean, we didn't make more than 6,000 jackets because we know we only have a limited time. So it's time and quantity.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you buy it now, you're going to get it.
Exactly.
If you buy it 6 months, I guarantee you order it today, you'll be getting it. Exactly. In 6 months, I'm not sure.
Yeah. We already talked about Zeppelin, Zaoria, and Chet gave a quite open answer. Will you maybe say it again for the Led Zeppelin fans?
I probably didn't. Look, I know that everybody wants Led Zeppelin. Nobody wants it more than me. Okay. I've seen them twice growing up. I've seen them in Baton Rouge in 75, and I've seen them in 77. Okay. I love blues. Okay. They're my favorite band. They're also Craig Kalman's favorite band. And they're everybody's, they're the top band. They're the top band. It's what everybody wants. Whenever we do a video about anything, there's 10 people. Where's the Zeppelin? Chad, it's got to be you to do the Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Please do Zeppelin. Please do Zeppelin. Please do 45 RPM Zeppelin. Please do the road case. We get so many of these emails, and you can just see them on the comments of every video. We love Led Zeppelin. Of course, when it comes to Atlantic Records, you got Atlantic and you got Led Zeppelin. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Atlantic Led Zeppelin, you got Atlantic Ray Charles, you got Atlantic Aretha Franklin, you got Atlantic Crosby, Stills and Nash, you got Atlantic Yes. I mean, there's certain artists.
Yeah.
And Zeppelin is.
And so far you cover them, in my personal opinion, you cover them very well. Of course, I would love to see Led Zeppelin and Aretha Franklin, no doubt about it. But hey, we even get Alice Cooper. I mean, hey.
You know, sometimes it's like the Rolling Stones said, you know, sometimes you get what you want, you know.
Liam,
you don't always get what you want, but you get what you need. So I mean, believe me, we're trying, and we
and I know you don't stop.
We've never gotten there's good news and there's bad news. Yeah, we haven't gotten a yes, but we haven't gotten a no.
Chat, when can you give Liam an estimation on the first release of Yes in the series, roughly?
Within the next 3 years.
Okay, that's not.
I mean, you know, the thing is, I get jaded. You know, I mentioned that I'm going to have a big announcement, and then I'm going to keep the big announcements from now on. You know, until I don't know. I mean, I could give you a guess, but please don't. It's only a guess. 6 months from now, we got 75 records we're going to try to do 2 a month for the next 3 years. You know, so, hey, Al, thank you, man. We appreciate it. I know I got the best customers in the world, all over the world, man, and I appreciate you guys. And sorry when I sound frustrated because sometimes I get frustrated because I feel like I'm trying hard and I just can't do every title everybody wants. You know, I can't. And, you know, I got to do what I like, you know, what I know. You know, I'm not somebody that grew up with rap music. So we'll let another label, somebody that's dedicated, that knows that genre, let them do that. Let me do the blues and the jazz and the R&B and the classic rock and the classical. And I am trying to no, I'm not going to do Duke and Wind and Weathering because I'm doing 9 Genesis. It's like, you know.
Yeah. That's quite something, right?
Yeah, I'm doing 9 of them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's an example right there. I'm doing 9 of them. I'm doing more Genesis than anything. And so, you know, let's leave some for some other reissue labels to pick up, you know, where we left off, you know. And again, I appreciate, I mean, this is my love, this is my life, this is my hobby. I feel like the luckiest man in the world. I can go to Holland and have a customer meet me, or Hong Kong, New York, LA, and we love it, man. We appreciate because we're all love the same stuff, you know. And
this was, by the way, a huge surprise to me too. The Velvet Underground Loaded. Wow, that's huge in my opinion. And why Loaded? Why especially this title? Is there any reason you like that the most, or sounding
Well, I
the
mean,
best?
it's the only Velvet Underground. It's the only it's the only Velvet Underground that 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 that's on Atlantic.
Ah, okay, so okay, then that totally makes sense. Sorry, didn't know that. Harold is asking for the Bee Gees. Okay, why not Bee Gees?
Okay, that's another band that Atlantic didn't own.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of, and we had to discover all this. That's why, it's a lot of work.
So with this October releases, we see 3 titles, but that's the big exception. I can imagine you are trying to do 2 a month, right?
Well, I mean, the thing is we've been pressing them, so we have them in stock, ready to go, right?
Yeah.
And so we know it's going to be very difficult. Plus 25 in a year, if you did
It's
2
quite
a
something.
month, there's 1 extra. So there might be some months we can do 3, and there might be some months we just do 1.
Yeah.
We're just giving you an idea. We're going to shoot for 2 a month, but when we can do 3, we're going to do 3 because it's going to be hard to get 75 out in 3 years.
I can imagine. Yeah. Okay, I would say we are almost at an hour. Let's do another round of questions and then call it a day. I can imagine Chad has a lot of emails to answer and stuff to do, so let's not keep him for too long. If you have any questions, now shoot. Okay, there's a question for the acoustic sound series. Can we expect an update soon on this series?
On the acoustic sound series,
There has been one recently, I think.
No, I know, but what the acoustic sounds Verve series or the acoustic
Probably
sound?
the Verve Impulse series, yeah.
I mean, we're working on. I mean, you just look at my desk. We're working on, lots of records to we're listening to a lot of different records. We're working all the time. We're working on more Verve. We're working on more contemporary. We're working on more another series. It's going to be 3 series. I guess I shouldn't have mentioned that because I'm going to get asked what's that next series. Like I said, man, there's so much to come. People are just going to be blown away. There's just so much killer stuff to come. We're getting artists now that want, they want their stuff on UHQR. They want their record to be next to Axis Bold as Love, Kind of Blue,
Yeah.
Love Supreme. And so we're getting calls.
So no, you just can order on the European shop too, because they are from the same batch, though they are not numbered. If you really need to have a numbered copy, you get those over at Acoustic Sounds from Chad. Every other thing is the same for Europe.
Yeah, if somebody wants to be part of the subscription, they buy direct. And man, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable how well it's selling. The subscription, and they're wanting to be in the top 100. So we gave 3 options. Prepay and you're in the top 100. Prepay, and after 100 you get a 5% discount, or just pay as we ship them. But those other first 2 options are the most popular options. Than the pay as we ship, which of course we're happy about.
Yeah. I mean, those number thing is, of course, for hardcore collectors very interesting. If you want to have the whole series, that is, of course, wonderful to have. But um, that's again, and that's how where we started. For me, the most beautiful thing of this series as a whole is the variety. I think you really get into new grounds. Also for audiophile reissue collectors, this will open up a lot. And I can imagine, and I really do hope that with some of those titles you drag in also a younger target group, younger people. That will be amazing. Yeah.
Dude, I am really trying to listen to more of the 90s and 2000s music and pick some titles that I like, that I think our customers will like because of, you know, the sound and the music. I'm really trying, and we're gonna do some here and there. But man, there's so many that it's just the sound is disappointing to me, and
Yeah, you
so
have to stick to your standard. I totally get that. It's analog.
I mean, I'm sorry. What can I say? You know, it is what it is, and it just, you know.
But
Some
there are
people,
some out there. There are some great
well,
sounding.
there's some. I'm not giving up. I mean, one of the ones that we loved, that we lost the license, but that Counting Crows, unbelievable sound. But hey, I'm looking at the top sellers. So of course the White Stripes UHQR, then the Love Supreme UHQR, then the White Stripes SACD. But already the Genicel in England by the pound is number 4, which is, so it'd be the top seller.
Okay.
Then Face Value is number 5. Deja Vu is number 6.
Okay.
The Royal Ballet box set, which I mean, I knew that was going to sell like crazy. It's back in stock.
Yeah. On my shop too, finally.
The Steely Dan Asia SACD, UHQR. Then the Stone Temple Pilots Purple, and then Core, and then Yes Fragile, Mingus Blues and Roots, Yes Close to the Edge, Yes album, the Velvet Underground Loaded, The Lamb Lies Down, Trick of the Tail, CSN, Bad Company, Nursery Crime. I mean, basically they went to the top sellers already.
I don't want to be a smart ass now, so excuse me in advance. Only one jazz title amongst the top sellers so far.
On the Atlantic, yeah, the Mingus. Oh, dude, people are gonna absolutely get blown away when they hear this Blues and Roots. I mean, oh, dude, it is awesome. Yeah, no, I want to mix it up. I want to please as much of our customers as we can. They've been asking me for new music, and
you gave it to
us. And here you go. You know, now, did I hit every favorite title of yours? No, but I'm trying. I'm trying, but I've got to go with, you know, what I believe in. And I'm fighting for y'all, man. You know, I'm fighting to get the best stuff, and it's not easy. You know, it's not. You just don't call the label and say, "Hey, you know, I want Nirvana," and they're like, "Yeah, okay." You know, you think I'm the only one calling them? You know, so yeah, no, and I also need to remember that most all of our customers understand and they appreciate.
That's true. Yeah.
And I appreciate them for supporting us, because the better we do, the more we earn, the more I can reinvest into improving our machines, to buying different tools to make better records, learning about making better jackets. We're just constantly trying to push the envelope to upgrade the process. You know, a lot of people, oh, I can get that on Amazon. It's $1 cheaper. And I'm like, yeah, okay. You know, buy it from Amazon. There'll only be one company left in the world. It'll be Amazon. And that's fine. But do you really think that they're reinvesting in your hobby? They're trying to make records better. They're listening to what, you know, I mean, of course they're not. But, you know, some people think they're only thinking about, you know, saving 50 cents or a dollar, you know.
And that's right. But Drum VC, I think it was Drum VC. He asked, "Oh, is it necessary to pre-order all those titles?" That is, of course, totally up to you. But I think when you order them, Chad will announce them in a timely manner.
Yeah, I mean, as time goes on, like Liam asked about the yes. As time goes on, like I showed you basically the jackets we have for the first 9. So since we have the jackets, it only makes sense, you know, as we get going, there's going to be some changes too, you know, like where the master tape couldn't be found or we didn't approve or, you know, there might be about 5% changes in the 75. And as we go, we'll know better as to what's coming and we'll try to plan better and give a better schedule. But right now, that's the best we can do is tell you about the 9. And yes, isn't one of the 9. So it's not in the first 9, and it's not going to be
number 10.
Huh?
Maybe number 10? No chance? Okay.
No, probably not number 10, but somewhere in between number 9 and number 75. You know, I just do my best, man.
Yeah.
Try to be honest. And if I knew, I would
you would
say,
of course. Yeah, of course. Damn.
I'll tell you this. We mastered Fragile. We did get a test pressing of Fragile. So that means we've mastered about 25 titles. So Fragile would probably be in the first 25.
So that's something you can count on. Chad, thank you so much for all you do for us vinyl collectors, lovers, audiophiles, however you want to call us. Amazing. And again,
what's the German lady's name again?
Nadine, Soul Disco. She is so happy. She is so happy. She did an amazing statement on the live stream yesterday. You know, she's very heavily into funk, soul, disco, and of course, she was so happy when she saw the soul titles. But she also said, "With this series, I get every title." And that was quite a surprise to me. But yeah, in a way, it makes sense.
Listen, Otis Redding and the Dusty in Memphis. There was a lot more R&B I wanted to do. I wanted to do the Percy Sledge. I love Clarence Carter. I love Clarence Carter. I wanted to do the Clarence Carter, the Percy Sledge, the Solomon Burke. You know, you know, and sometimes it seems like that music's being forgotten, and it's so good. It's so good.
And what make you decide that you don't do it?
Man, so many people are asking for newer music. I'm worried about that it may not sell as well as the others. But I know that she loves this stuff, and I do as well. You know, I know a lot of people. You know, there's Big Joe Turner, there's Laverne Baker, there's Solomon Burke. There's all these great artists on Atlantic. That's what they built their label on. Ahmed Ernigan went down to New Orleans, and he recorded Professor Longhair. He's one of my favorites. He recorded Champion Jack Dupre in New Orleans, one of my favorites. There's a record on Atlantic with Jack Dupre and King Curtis that I love. The song Junker Blues. You can watch it on YouTube, Junker Blues. And I love this stuff, you know, but, you know, I have to weigh everything. I can't just, sometimes I can't do just what I love either, you know, because it won't sell.
You have to be, yeah, I get it.
I have to think of a lot of things. But listen, I want to thank everybody. The response was unbelievable. You know, the announcement on YouTube got over 54 hours. We sold over 250 subscribers. You know, and I've got to just be excited. You know, I've got to be excited, and then, you know, we got Steely Dan Asia around the White Stripes, UHQR, and then Asia. I mean, we got some good stuff, man.
It's coming now. It's coming. It's amazing. The next month will be amazing. Yeah.
We got announcements that, you know, but again, I ain't saying, I'm not saying we got a huge, and we're going to stop that, but there's more to come. You know, like I said, the artists, labels and artists are calling us, you know.
Cool.
But we're not the only label, you know, and if you like rap music, you can find a label that does that and does it well, or if you like the new alternative grungy rock, and there's other labels that specialize in that. And, you know, I do what we know.
And what you do.
I am trying to change a bit. I am trying to listen. I am trying to do more new stuff. But
this is great news. I'm so happy to hear this. I'm so happy to hear this. Great.
And
but Chad, please, I hope this doesn't mean you're not doing the old stuff. Please keep doing the old stuff too. Please.
Well, you ain't got to worry about that, man.
Okay, good.
You know, the old. Hey, man, I'm 61. You know, I love Zeppelin. You know, I love Allman Brothers. You know, I love blues. I love the blues rock, you know.
Yeah. And jazz.
And jazz and classical. I like good sound. You know, I like things that's, you know, sound like they're in the room with you, man. That's what we're all about.
Yeah, true.
So I appreciate you. You know, I appreciate your channel, and I want to thank everybody for supporting this series, man. I really do. And you know,
and Chet, we thank you for taking the time. It was amazing what you revealed.
And when you know, if I get sounding like I'm frustrated, I'm sorry. I'm just
no, you didn't.
I'm just human, and you know, I read the comments. You know, 99% of them are good, but that one bad one.
That 1%, and we talk about it. And he said, Chet, come on.
It's usually the same guy. There's a couple of guys that.
Okay, you know, thank you so much, Chet, and thank all of you for joining us. It was amazing.
All right, man. I hope any more questions. I hope I answered them all.
I think you did amazing job. Amazing.
I mean, you got more questions.
If not, we do another stream. Okay, let's get 2 questions. Okay, two questions. If there are 2 questions. Okay, this is not a question. Oh, Kaliko, I love that question. I'm dying for Electric Ladyland UHQR, and he's not alone.
It could happen. It could happen. It could happen.
Okay, now let's take Jose Moreno Ran. Velvet Underground. When will it be released?
Not this year, within 3 years.
Okay. Okay, that was 2 questions.
Once in every life, somebody said somebody, Johnny Hartman, once in every life. We still have that in stock. It's killer title.
For sure.
The Who UHQR, wouldn't that just be nice? Wouldn't that be nice?
That could be something, Chad, but you never thought about that, right?
I never thought about that. But hey, you never know, man. You never know. Electric Ladyland, the Who on UHQR.
No, no, there might be some people interested in those.
Oh yeah, we would love to reissue the CCR set.
I don't
That would
see
be
that.
a nice UHQR, Cosmos Factory,
Yeah,
or any of the Credence.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
we
would be
love
quite
Credence.
something. So, enough work to do, right, Chad?
All right, dude. Hey, thank y'all, man. Thank everybody. I appreciate it.
Bye. See you.
Okay. Bye-bye.